Darkness. For millennia, the third planet of Sol had been nothing but a quiet, blue marble, untouched, unnoticed, and unseen by the galaxy. Its skies held no alien traffic. Its transmissions never reached the stars. And that was not by accident. It was by design. The galaxy had locked Earth away, wrapping it in a quantum veil that even the most advanced civilizations could not penetrate. To the rest of the galaxy, Sol was a dead system, a quarantine zone no ship dared to approach. But now, that lock had been broken. Commander Sarah Whitfield stood on the bridge of the USS Odyssey, staring at the readouts on the holographic display. The stars beyond the viewport looked as normal as ever, cold pinpricks of light, scattered across the endless black, but the data in front of her told a different story. "Say that again, Ensign." Her voice was calm, but her tone carried weight. Ensign Jason Carter swallowed hard before replying. "Ma'am, we're getting signals from Sol. Real ones. Open band transmissions. It's like someone just flipped the switch back on." The bridge fell silent. The Odyssey was humanity's farthest-ranging exploration vessel, stationed on the edge of what was once called the Orion Expanse. The ship had been patrolling a region that had been quiet for decades until the moment the transmissions began. "Put it through," Sarah ordered. The speakers crackled, then roared to life with the sound of a voice that hadn't been heard in the galaxy for thousands of years, a human voice, speaking English. "This is Earth Command. To all listening stations, repeat, to all listening stations, the veil is gone. We are free." Sarah's breath caught. Word traveled fast. By the time the Odyssey completed its jump back toward Sol, the galaxy was already on edge. Dozens of alien factions intercepted the same transmission, their reaction bordering on panic. On Vorth Prime, a High Council of the Zalari convened an emergency session. "They cannot be allowed to return," hissed Archon Zark, his crystalline form shivering with alarm. "The lock was placed for a reason. Do you not remember the wars?" Across the chamber, the elder being known as the Speaker of Ashen Winds floated forward, its body a rippling cloud of gas. "I remember," it intoned. "I remember what humanity was. But the seal has failed. The galaxy must decide, do we hide, or do we strike before they rise again?" Back aboard the Odyssey, Sarah and her crew jumped into Sol space for the first time in recorded history. The sight stole their breath. Earth was alive. From orbit, they could see glittering cities, sprawling across continents, but not like the cities Sarah remembered from ancient historical archives. These were different. The architecture was sleek, alien almost, as though Earth had evolved in total isolation, advancing far beyond what anyone had expected. "Holy hell," Jason muttered. "We were told Earth was lost, that it was stuck in pre-spaceflight development forever. But look at that. They're ahead of us." "They're not just ahead," Sarah said quietly. "They're waiting for us." A transmission pinged the Odyssey. The voice was calm, firm, and unmistakably human. "Unknown vessel, you are entering Terran sovereignty space. Identify yourself immediately." Sarah straightened. "Open channel." When the comm line opened, Sarah spoke clearly. "This is Commander Sarah Whitfield of the USS Odyssey, Terran Exploration Fleet. We are returning from extrasolar patrol. Please confirm, this is Earth Command?" There was a long silence on the other end. Then the reply came, a single sentence that sent a chill through every crew member aboard. "Welcome home, Commander. You've missed a great deal, and now, the galaxy will remember why they feared us." The Odyssey was ordered to dock at Earth Space Dock, an orbital fortress that hadn't existed when the ship had left for deep space years ago. As Sarah's ship entered dock, she couldn't shake the gnawing feeling in her chest, the sense that history itself was shifting. In the debriefing chamber, she finally met the man whose voice had spoken over the comm. Admiral Nathan Cole, Earth's Supreme Fleet Commander, was a tall, broad-shouldered man with streaks of gray at his temples. His piercing blue eyes studied Sarah with something between pride and caution. "You and your crew are among the first of the old fleet to make it home since the seal fell," he said. "What you saw out there, what you heard, is just the beginning. The galaxy will come for us now. they will try to finish what they started millennia ago. Sarah frowned. With respect, sir, why was Earth sealed away in the first place? The fleet records we had were vague at best. Nathan's expression darkened. Because we terrified them, he said simply. Because when humanity discovered the stars, we didn't just explore, we conquered. We fought wars the galaxy still whispers about. And when they realized they couldn't destroy us, they built the veil to contain us. To keep us sleeping. He leaned forward, lowering his voice. But now, Commander, humanity has awakened and we are stronger than ever. The galaxy remembers what we were. Soon, they will see what we have become. Far across the galaxy, in hidden war councils and shadow chambers, alien leaders shivered at the news. Fleets were mobilized, treaties were broken, and spies were dispatched toward Sol. The galaxy trembled because the one thing they had feared for millennia had just come to pass. Earth was back. And this time, nothing would stop humanity from taking its place among the stars. The war drums began to sound before the galaxy even realized what it was doing. Across the spiral arms, ancient alliances were reawakened. Species that hadn't spoken in centuries now sent encrypted transmissions across subspace, warning one another, the humans are free. For millennia, the veil had kept Sol hidden, a quarantine to contain what the galaxy feared most. It had been a fragile piece, a cage made of light, but now that cage was gone, and the old terror returned like a tide. Commander Sarah Whitfield stood in Earth Spacedock's war room, staring at the tactical holomap. The blue sphere of Earth hovered in the center, surrounded by dozens of glowing red markers. Enemy fleets, she asked quietly. Admiral Nathan Cole nodded grimly. Multiple signatures, closing from 3 different sectors. The first strike groups are already in motion. They aren't even bothering with diplomacy. Who are they? The Zolari. The Myrick Dominion. And, Nathan's voice hardened, the Keth. The very ones who built the veil to begin with. Sarah clenched her fists. The Keth were the bogeymen of every spacer's tale, towering, insectoid warlords with a history of exterminating entire species. If they were coming, it meant the galaxy wasn't just worried. It meant they intended to finish humanity once and for all. Hours later, Sarah and her crew were back aboard the Odyssey, now reinforced and resupplied with technology they had never seen before. "This is insane," muttered Ensign Jason Carter as he ran a hand over the new control systems. "Half of this tech is, 50 years ahead of anything we had in the fleet." "Try 500, said Lieutenant Maria Vega, the Odyssey's tactical officer. "Earth's been busy while we were locked out here." The ship hummed with new power, a power that felt almost alive. "Commander," the ship's AI, Echo, chimed in. "We have orders to intercept the first Solari advance fleet at the Sol perimeter. Earth Command believes they intend to test our defenses before the main assault." Sarah nodded. "Helm, set course. Let's give them a welcome they won't forget." The Odyssey arrived at the Sol perimeter just as the Zolari fleet dropped out of warp, a dozen sleek, blade-like warships that glittered with the cold precision of a species bred for war. "Open channel," Sarah ordered. A moment later, a tall, crystalline figure appeared on the main screen. Its voice was a haunting chorus of harmonics. "This system is under interdict," the Zolari intoned. "You will power down your vessel and surrender it for dismantling. Humanity will not be permitted to rise again." Sarah's answer was cold and steady. "Negative. This is Terran space. Turn your fleet around, or you will be fired upon." The aliens' crystal facets pulsed with color, their equivalent of laughter. "You dare threaten us?" Sarah didn't hesitate. "Weapons free." The first volley from the Odyssey lit the void in brilliant white fire. The ship's new cannons didn't just strike, they erased. One Zolari cruiser vanished in a bloom of plasma before its shields could react. "Direct hit!" Maria shouted, almost in disbelief. But the rest of the Zolari fleet responded instantly, their formation shifting as they fired back. Energy lances streaked across the darkness, hammering against the Odyssey's shields, but the ship held. "Return fire!" Sarah barked. The battle turned vicious. The Odyssey moved like no human ship had ever moved, its new drives dancing through enemy formations with impossible speed. One by one, Solari ships were torn apart until only 2 remained, and then, suddenly, they broke off and fled into warp. The bridge was silent except for the sound of labored breathing.
They ran, Jason said softly.
No, Sarah replied. They're reporting back. This was just the first wave.
Next time, they'll bring friends.
Commander, Echo interrupted, Earth Command requests your immediate return.
There is something you must see.
Back on Earth, Sarah was escorted deep beneath the surface of the Rocky Mountains into a facility that, according to official records, did not exist. The air here was colder, heavier, almost electric with suppressed power. Nathan Cole was waiting for her at the bottom of a vast, circular chamber. This, he said, gesturing to the colossal object suspended in the center of the room, is why they locked us away.
Sarah stared.
It was a ship, or something far beyond a ship. Its hull was black as obsidian, its angles sharp and predatory, humming with dormant energy.
What is it? She whispered.
Nathan's eyes gleamed.
The Aegis, he said.
Humanity's last supercarrier.
The one weapon the galaxy could never defeat.
They buried it here before the veil was erected, and now, we're waking it up.
As Sarah stood there, the chamber lights dimmed.
The Aegis began to pulse, its engines igniting with a deep, resonant hum that vibrated through the ground. Far above, alien listening stations detected the energy spike and panic spread like wildfire.
The galaxy had feared humanity's return. Now they feared something worse, humanity's superweapon was coming online.
And in the darkness of space, fleets began to converge on Sol, ready to strike before the Aegis could rise. The stars burned with war. Hundreds of alien vessels, Zolari, Myrick, Keth, and more, descended upon Sol in a storm of warships, blotting out the distant constellations as they took formation. This was no raid. It was an extermination force, a final solution. And at the heart of Earth's defense, deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, the Aegis awoke. Commander Sarah Whitfield stood on the command platform as the chamber trembled. The black hull of the ancient supercarrier glowed brighter with each passing second, its energy system spooling up like the heartbeat of a sleeping god.
Status, she called over the roar.
Technicians shouted reports from every console.
Primary reactors online.
Quantum drives at full charge.
Main cannon coils reaching minimum firing capacity.
Then came the voice of Echo, now fully integrated into the ship's core systems. Commander Whitfield, the AI intoned, the Aegis is ready for launch.
All hands to battle stations.
Nathan Cole's voice echoed through the chamber, cold and resolute.
Sarah, this is your ship now. Take it out there. Show them why they sealed us away. Minutes later, the mountains themselves split open.
With a thunderous roar that shook the very earth, the Aegis rose from its cradle, ascending into the daylight sky like a black spear. It was colossal, larger than any warship Sarah had ever seen, dwarfing entire cities as it climbed through the atmosphere. The moment it breached orbit, every alien fleet in range detected it. Panic rippled through their command channels. The humans had unleashed the nightmare weapon they swore never to use again. Enemy fleets converging, Lieutenant Maria Vega reported from her station aboard the Aegis bridge.
Multiple carrier groups closing from 3 vectors. They're trying to box us in.
Sarah gripped the command chair's armrest. They think they can cage us again, she said quietly.
Helm, break their lines.
The Aegis surged forward. Its drives flared with blinding light, and for a moment, the massive vessel moved with a speed no ship that size should have been capable of.
Primary batteries online, Maria shouted.
Target the Keth flagship, Sarah ordered.
Fire.
The forward cannon unleashed a beam of pure annihilation, a spear of white energy that sliced through space like a god's judgment. The Keth flagship never had a chance, it simply ceased to exist, reduced to vapor in an instant.
Direct hit, Echo reported calmly. Target eliminated. But the alien coalition was far from finished. Their ships swarmed like angry hornets, launching wave after wave of fighters, bombers, and boarding craft. The Aegis shields flared under the onslaught. Secondary batteries, full spread. Sarah barked. The supercarrier's flanks erupted with fire. Dozens of turrets rotated and unleashed a storm of kinetic slugs and plasma bursts, tearing through the incoming swarm. Enemy fighters winked out of existence by the hundreds, but still more came. Shields at 70%, Maria called. They're trying to overwhelm us, Jason said, sweat beading on his forehead. Sarah's eyes narrowed. Then let's remind them what human desperation feels like. Prepare the Nova Lance. The bridge went silent. Even Maria hesitated. Commander, the Nova Lance hasn't been used since the Prevail Wars. Its yield could end this fight in one strike, Sarah interrupted. Do it. Deep within the Aegis, energy built to a terrifying crescendo. Entire decks vibrated as containment fields strained to hold the charge. Targeting solution locked, Echo announced. Central firing solution aligned with the enemy fleet's command nexus. Fire, Sarah said. The Nova Lance discharged. For a heartbeat, the void went silent, as if the universe itself were holding its breath. Then came the light, a pillar of pure, burning energy that cut across the black like the wrath of a sun. Alien ships disintegrated in its path, their shields collapsing under the impossible force. The command nexus of the Coalition fleet was obliterated in a single strike, its surviving ships scattering in all directions, their formations breaking apart. The battlefield fell eerily quiet. They're retreating, Maria whispered. Negative, Echo corrected. They are fleeing. Sarah stood slowly, her breathing steady despite the adrenaline surging through her veins. Open a wideband transmission, she ordered. When the channel opened, Sarah's voice echoed across every remaining enemy ship, clear and unyielding. This is Commander Sarah Whitfield of the Aegis. Earth is no longer sealed. We will not be caged. We will not be erased. Leave Sol space now, or share the fate of those who dared to try. There was no reply. One by one, alien ships blinked into warp, vanishing into the void. Hours later, the Aegis hovered in geosynchronous orbit above Earth, its hull still glowing faintly from the battle. Humanity had stood against the galaxy's fury, and won. Nathan Cole appeared on the bridge's comm screen, his expression solemn but proud. You did it, Sarah, he said. You reminded them why they feared us. Sarah stared out at the blue world below, her reflection mirrored in the viewport. Fear isn't enough, she said quietly. They'll be back, with bigger fleets, stronger weapons. We have to be ready. Nathan nodded. Then we rebuild. We arm every ship, every station. Humanity will not hide again. The next time they come, we won't just defend Earth. Sarah's gaze hardened, her voice like steel. We'll take the fight to them. Far across the galaxy, alien leaders watched the battle recordings in stunned silence. The Keth warlords hissed in fear. The Zalari councils shattered into panic. And in the darkest corners of the galaxy, whispers spread once more, whispers that had not been spoken aloud for thousands of years. The humans have returned. And this time, there would be no cage strong enough to hold them.